week of classes. My name is Shanice Anderson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my research topic for this semester. I'm not sure if I want to follow this angle for my final dissertation at the end of my degree, but this is a topic that's really interesting to me, so I figured I'd take this class to get to explore it a little bit better. And so my focus for this semester will be looking at the effects of Executive Order 9981, which was issued in 1948 by President Harry S. Truman, and it essentially desegregated the United States Armed Forces. We know, as historians, that for the longest time, veterans of all shades have been serving this country. However, it wasn't until 1948 that everyone was put on an equal playing field, at least on paper. And so, coming from a military family, I recently discovered that I had several uncles who served in World War II, which happened prior to the issuance of that executive order. And then they also served in the Korean War, which happened after that. And so I would love to look at how those experiences were similar and different based on that bill. I also know that after World War II, a lot of soldiers were celebrated. However, that did not include African American soldiers. In fact, when they returned home, they were treated worse than they were before they left. And that was because they were seen as heroes during the war, and then when they came back, that hero status was expected to be maintained, and of course that caused some friction, and so they were actually treated worse. And I know the NAACP did a lot of work to make sure that soldiers could receive their benefits like housing assistance and tuition assistance and all those GI benefits that caused them to sign up for the military in the first place. And so I'm interested in looking at, the processes of how we got here today with that. As a recipient of the GI Bill right now, my husband's in the military. I find it incredibly sad that these soldiers went and fought overseas and either paid the ultimate price or paid a price and came home and were treated like subhumans, and were not given those benefits that were promised to them. And so that's another angle I kind of want to take with this. I was able to look at 4 different dissertations, and they pretty much all have the same layout in terms of methodology and conclusions. They start, with a historical context and talking about experiences during the war, and then it goes on to the issuance of Executive Order 9981, and then there's where things kind of get a little different between each one of those dissertations. One talks about the merging of the African American and Asian communities and how African Americans were fighting for civil rights as Asian immigrants were moving in post World War II. And then another one discusses the work that the NAACP did to help Black soldiers secure their rights that they were guaranteed. And so, again, from a family standpoint, and just as someone who's interested in military history, I am very excited to embark on this adventure and learn as much as I can about the Korean War and how Black soldiers were treated during that war in comparison to World War II and then that transitional period. I do have, like I said, uncles who participated in both World War II and the Korean War. Unfortunately, they are no longer here with us, and I never got to know them, but their children are still alive, and so I'll be reaching out to my cousins as well to see if I can get some insight as to what life was about, or life was like during that time. I'm sure you all are wondering how I have relatives or uncles who are so close who served in those wars. It's because my great-grandmother was actually born in 1895 and my grandmother in 1927, and so therefore I have uncles who are old enough to have served again in World War II in Korea. So like I said, I'm really excited to embark on this journey and share my findings each week with y'all, and I look forward to a great semester with you all.